stop till the end, no. That I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking it.
An ally has been slain.
A Demacian does not retreat.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. has been slain.
Here's a tip and a spear behind it.
Enemy killing spree.
Only actions truly speak. To triumph! alive. Victory calls.
An ally has been slain. Turret plating will fall soon. An enemy has been slain.
Always forward.
Shut down.
For me.
has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy killing spree. Enemy killing spree. An enemy is unstoppable. Aced.
Travis, are you there?
Hey, Travis. You there, Doug? Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I guess we're doing Phil Roulette.
Phil Roulette. Awesome. People good? And I get mid. Cool. I'm gonna go grab my quesadilla real quick.
Ooh, make me a quesadilla, bitch.
Nah. What do I get out of it?
Uh, I'll high five you the next time you get a blowjob from your sister.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. I would have also accepted dick, but I guess that works too.
Nah, dog, you gotta work for that dick.
I'm glad we're on the same foot. Like I'm glad we both know where we fit. I'm up against a Lazarus. That's good.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Do you go pay him or you just put it in the bank? Where does he live? Oh, you just put it in this account? Which bank do you have to go to? Pacific Northwest? Been doing this a lot, I think so. Where's it at? By the taco stand? Farther. City?
The one right across from the go-karts, right? You're talking about
He's
the one...
thinking here.
Oh.
But if it's the Great Northwest one, there's two of them. There's one here and there's one in Long Beach.
Yeah, there's one like right next to Oakey's.
Oh yeah, just let me know because I gotta go do some stuff. I gotta go DOL and get new tabs. And yeah, so I'll have it. Just let me know and I'll meet up with you. So let me know. I'll meet up with you. I don't know. Something just meet or something. Okay. I have a deal. See you later.
What's up, everybody? No LCS, no problem. LEC in the house. It's Face Check, episode 14, 13. I don't know. Dom's editor is putting titles on there, and I haven't kept up with it. But we're here to break down the LEC action and all your League of Legends drama, because Lord knows we had some today, all the way from the top, involving one of us on the panel. It's Zyrene, Dom, Loco, and myself, D-Gon here. How's it going, Zyrene? You are currently on the road. Where are you at?
I'm in Toronto right now. I'm visiting my girlfriend, so we do long distance. So you got to get out here, and when I'm out here, I'm like here for like 3 weeks or something. So, but I still make it work. I bring my mic with me.
You have a girlfriend? That's so cool.
Oh my god. He asked where I was. Okay, you know what?
You could have just said Toronto.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, I'm like out here in the Netherlands. I'm just fucking like every bitch in the country. I'm trying to get
Damn, let's go, dude.
That's the reason why I cut this trip short. Is just it was too easy. I just have to go. Yeah, I just ran out. So maybe next time I'll come to a little bit of bigger country, not the Netherlands, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Oh. So, Loco, how's your dating life going?
Speaking of having a girlfriend. No.
Yeah. It's actually going pretty decently. I've been seeing someone new.
Yeah, how's your top laner?
She knows nothing about esports or gaming in general, so it's been pretty interesting.
Oh, that's the best for you, honestly. You should keep it.
Why? I feel like I do fine with girls that know gaming.
Just don't tell them.
When it inevitably goes south, she won't be able to tell any of your friends. So,
do you remember the blonde girl that we met, like when we were at a huge group, and the one that Captain Flowers made me talk to?
The cam girl?
Oh no, my God, not.
wait, dude.
No.
Wait a second.
Serious,
no. Wait, is that the one that I know, or is it a different one?
No. Okay, no. We were at GOM. What is it? With like all of us. I didn't want to go. But I didn't go. And that blonde girl that Captain Flowers made me talk to.
The one that was engaged?
Oh my God. Daniel, just leave out details like that.
All right, sorry.
She's no longer engaged, but yeah, that one.
Oh, shit. The Loco Smoko shit, dude. Got him out of there.
Sorry, I wasn't even trying to throw the drum out. That's just how I remembered her. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Congrats, dude.
Everyone.
She was cute. Way to go, Loco.
Yeah, but we've been talking.
Way to go, man. You teach her how to play that top lane.
Oh.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm more of a bot laner.
Okay. We started.
All right, okay. Good to know, Loco. Good to know.
I play Gary. Why? What the fuck? We're just talking about our favorite.
We're going to kick things off with our LEC edition. So we're going to talk the LEC matches first, then we'll get to the big bad drama. You know, love me some drama here.
Hey, this is good. I'll get you an endless supply of drama, dude. You kind of just like, I think the tournament format isn't as good as what I'd want. I mean, I'd like just pure double elimination, but it's still better than what we have in NA, in my opinion.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that. I don't like our format in NA, but I think that so I've heard this before in the office, and it was that the format is good because it has more potential for upsets, just like Worlds. They like the single elimination because you can have a new winner, and if there's like, I kind of don't like this, but it's like if the best team wins every single time, is that a good thing? And I'm like, yes, it's a good thing. Then they're like, no, because people get viewer fatigue. You get fatigued of the same person winning every single time. It's like the Yankees when the Yankees win every single time, or the Patriots win every single time. People get like viewer fatigue and they don't watch as much later. So it's like it's honestly a mechanism to like get people to watch and see if an upset happens. And when it does, it's like mega hype. And that's why it's like people talk about NA getting to the semifinals. It's like that type of thing. So having a more volatile format is something that Central seems to desire. And
clutch gamer, baby.
I don't like that, but I'm giving, it's called Riot Central is the
Riot Central was hankering for some Tanner time.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what Riot Central, you know what this shit reminds me of? Like, so Riot Central is like NA based. Like, Riot isn't even owned by NA anymore. It's owned by Tencent. Like, you guys know when Riot got bought out by Tencent, right? And I'll tell this story. This is actually fucking relevant, and then it'll lead into drama, and then we will actually get into the LEC talk. But this is so relevant. And so, Tencent bought a lot of shares in Riot before, and they became majority, but they didn't buy it out. Actually, so a lot of people had imaginary money because it wasn't completely bought out. They knew they were owned by Tencent, but they weren't bought out yet. So when Tencent stopped getting their way and Riot started pushing back, that was Tencent flexing their muscle, like actually buying majority of the shares out, because they had a little bit of shares and then they bought up majority shares. And a lot of Riot employees, like their lives were changed. Like they went from like just regular people to being millionaires, or being like just getting generational wealth in that buyout. And that's when Tencent came in and we're like, okay, you guys don't want to listen to us. We're going to buy out majority shares. And this is where things change. So Riot is no longer majority owner. It's majorly owned by Tencent. And also NA fan base and NA esport is tiny. When Blau talked about on his post, so he mentioned 2 regions specifically when he was talking about champion popularity. So in NA, there isn't a lot of discrepancy between the most played champion and the least popular champion. But in other regions, there is a lot. And there's 2 regions he mentioned specifically: China,
number 1,
and China and Vietnam. And he didn't say it, but I'll say it for him. He mentioned China and Vietnam because those are the 2 largest regions. So when we talk about like Riot Central, it's just like this small part that doesn't, like small part that's the leadership that don't know. It's super fucking frustrating because they aren't even the biggest. I don't get why Riot Central makes so much of these decisions when esports is bigger elsewhere, and they just have so much control when Riot overall and the league success has been about how global it is. Oh my god, I didn't. My phrasing for that was shit. But Riot Central making all these decisions that have waves in the global esports scene is super fucking strange to me.
To clarify, again, they're not clueless, and it is more of a decision by committee of the regions than what comes off. However, the final say comes from Riot, and so a lot of the times, from Riot Central, and so a lot of the times if it needs to, just a decision needs to be made, sometimes it's just made there on the spot from Central. So knowing that, hey, these regions are bigger, NA is smaller, there's difference between NA esports and Riot Central. Those are actually 2 different entities, right, Zarian?
Sorry, you asked if it was Riot Central and NA were different?
Yes, NA esports. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are 2 different entities. So sometimes a NA-centric decision from Riot Central looks like Riot Central is NA esports. It's not. They're different, but they work very closely together, and physically because they're closely together, it seems like a lot of those decisions are coming from NA.
Yeah, I want to. Sorry, I was writing down like things I wanted to respond with what Loco said.
Yeah.
Because there were two big points. The first one was the buyout of the stock, and the second one was the NA player base. So the buyout of the stock that happened over 3 years ago. So they've had more than majority. I think like almost 100% of control. But what we were told is that they were hands off. They bought it and they were just like, just in case you like royally fuck up, we're able to steer the company in a different way. And I can say that what I experienced was they almost did nothing over here in NA. What instead happened was they really took over the LPL. Like, if you notice, the LPL expanded multiple times, started doing different formats, started moving things around, having like home stadiums and stuff like that. Like, that's what Tencent did. Is they didn't fuck with NA or EU. They were like, you guys do your thing. We're going to fuck with the LPL because this is going to be good for us. And that's what they really took over. So
they did take over that, but they also started breaking rules where Riot initially was not like, no, we can't have this. Like when you play in China,
they did for themselves. Yeah,
you'll know when you're playing with a girl because she'll have like a special icon, like because it's linked to their social media.
Do you want to go play in China?
No, but you'll know when you play with a girl. They'll have timers, like they'll have like social media like linked stuff that Riot does not allow at all. Like LPL client has stuff that NA client would never allow. And Tencent gets to over push Riot and do that. Garena tried to do that, they cut it. Curse Voice tried to do that in NA, they cut it. But in LPL and in China, like Riot can't fuck with that shit anymore. And LPL and Tencent gets to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, they do. And that's my big thing is they're affecting the China region, but they're like NA, EU, we don't give a fuck, do your own thing still. And that's all they cared about.
Well, I'm not sure what Korea's relationship to like Riot is, like how much different it is, but like they do significantly like different things in terms of like obviously they do their own thing in terms of format and things like that, but then
who knows next year.
Well, more significantly, they actually like in Korea they give their content creators benefit from LCK. So one thing that they do is like they have like Ambition is just allowed to stream LCK all over, right? Like he can stream, he streams it, and when he streams it, he gets like 20-30K viewers because he's like, it's just Ambition giving his commentary on the LCK, and he's able to do it the whole time. Whereas like in Riot, like this is something us content creators like ask for, especially like people like me and Loco that like do have investment in the LCS and watch the games anyway. I would love to watch that with my chat and like get benefit, but I just think that the main thing that is also evidenced later in the show is that like Riot in terms of NA and EU, they just don't value their content creators at all.
Is that
just
live?
Zero value.
Do you guys?
That's
live.
live.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
live. He restreams it live and commentates on it the whole time, and it directly hurts LPL viewership or LCK viewership.
LCK viewership, yes, it does.
Yes.
But their thought process is that it's actually beneficial because he'll stay around in the game. He will like be around and engage with the fans, and they don't see him as like a threat or like a cannibalization of their viewership. Whereas I think that NA or EU might see it as, oh, if LS gets to actually show the whole game or Scar gets to show the whole game, what if like Tyler 1 casts over the fucking NALCS and he gets more viewers than the NALCS, right? Or
that means that your product is garbage, and that should actually like help you improve your stream. Like if
Riot knows best, Dom. Riot knows best.
But that's the whole problem. Like that should be something that tells you, hey, maybe we could do better. But Riot doesn't like knowing that they could do better in something. Like that is something that they're very strong against. They know best at all times. No one else knows better than them. So I mean, I think that LCK they're proud of like their product. They understand like, hey, we have like a good fucking cast and Ambition. If he gets like decent viewerships, then we can learn something from him that he does, like and apply it to our own stream and make our own stream better. It's just like the competition really like it's just like in anything, right? Like if there's no competition, there's no need to improve or anything like that. If there is competition, then you have interest where you need to improve or you won't succeed.
So one thing about that is they did actually learn a little bit from Ambition. So one thing that Ambition did really well in his chat is whenever people talk shit about the players, he'll ban them. Like anything controversial, like you're like, oh, this player's shit, oh, he should have done this. Like he bans them, and it keeps his chat extremely clean. And LCK started to pick up on that, and they started moderating their chat a lot better. I mean, they still get more viewership, so they can't catch everything, but that is one thing they directly took from Ambition stream.
Yeah. But also like they did allow recently like D-Man and Foxdrop to stream on caffeine, but that is an allowed thing. That is like full on permission, and they were like, this is like Riot sanctioned, right? So that was maybe a step in the right direction, but that just felt like a different flavor cast that they wanted to give people. So I don't think it was the same type of thing for content creators.
Dude, what if Riot sells the right to LCK or LCS to like 3 different companies, like Mixer, Caffeine,
news stations,
Twitch,
or TV
Twitch?
stations, like that.
You can have all three of you guys can stream, and you can put on your own production. What if it or Twitch? You can have Riot production, Caffeine, and Mixer. You can go hire whoever you want, and they can be the casters and they can be the host, and we'll give you the feed, and you can do it. Then like have them internally compete, like have different products that people can choose.
YouTube is as well in there, right?
So that goes away from the traditional TV model where we'll use football again, right? Yes, there are multiple channels that have football, but only like certain channels have certain leagues, right? And so it's usually you don't get to compete. So this competition you're talking about, you don't get to compete because you're paying out the nose like for the rights to broadcast it.
Don't you bid on the Super Bowl though?
Yeah, you bid on the Super Bowl,
like
but it's like a
hard,
3 or 4 year package deal, right? So you get to do the Super Bowl 3 or 4 years, and then you get to do it again. And that's what works in North America. I think something different in terms of Korea is that OGN and NLB, was it nice game? All the different all the different channels that have esports there are established, right? So you have established traditional TV channels doing this already. So there's already a system that's there that I'm not privy to. I'm just saying that Riot's decision with broadcast stuff is based off of, again, the North American broadcast standards that are in place with deals and whatnot.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that Loco brought up that I wanted to talk about was he said the NA player base makes up so little of the population, yet the leaders come from NA when they make decisions on international tournaments, and they're the ones responsible for the growth of basically the esport at the beginning. So they're kind of trusted with the track record of growth from before. I'm saying maybe it's time for like a change and a diversification in that, because the growth has been pretty stagnant. It's been jumping formats. It's been, granted, World's numbers keep going up because the game does so damn well in Vietnam and China now. Legitimately, if all of the NA player base, I've seen stats for this before, if all of the NA player base were to literally just fucking quit League of Legends tomorrow, Riot Games would be 100% fine. 1,000% fine. They make up so little of the population.
That's why Fortnite doesn't matter. That's why Riot's not worried about Fortnite, because Fortnite will take away the NA fans, but it won't touch the Chinese fans. When Fortnite starts touching Chinese fans, that's where Riot gets scared.
That was one of the biggest things I heard from somebody who left Riot was he told me he's like the one thing that you should keep in mind when you're working on the NA and EU side of Riot is that nothing you do here matters at all. Like nothing you do in either of these regions matters at all. It's all about China. I mean, if you think about it, like China has something, you can't really know the exact numbers, but it's like estimated to have close to like at least like 6 or 7 times the players of like NA and EU combined. So it's like, all right, well, how do you even deal with that? And that's like, that might be on the low end too.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I think that's a little bit, it's almost there, I think. But my numbers are probably a little bit outdated because I saw it about 2.5 years ago, but I'm pretty sure that just means that the China number is probably bigger now. But like you were saying, if you're working on the NA product, but it's funny because NA, we make the champions, right? We make, like, that's where all the champions are made. That's where all the game modes are made and stuff like that. It's not like, it has to go through localization when it goes to China. So it's like, is Tom Kench, this Mississippi catfish, going to make sense in fucking China, right? You have to like figure out what's going to resonate with them too. And that's kind of almost the player base, the fan base, or the people with money that you're trying to appeal to. So I feel as though they don't always want NA to know how little they matter. But granted, in the grand scheme of the world, it's still fucking true. Like, that shit, there's so much in terms of population in China and over in the East that like we're almost like a blip, it really sucks for a lot of people who think that they matter. But honestly, I'm just going to tell you straight up, like, if you think you matter, it's pretty chest thumpy. I mean, I don't think they do.
summer, I think it was in between splits, Riot did hire a new global head of esports, John Needham. Not sure where he was before, so I'm looking at his profile here. He was over for Europe and North America, and then before that, Europe as well. He actually retains all of his positions, plus global head of esports now. So talking about a little bit more diverse decision makers. Here's one who has been working on a European product, although he is North American based, has been working in Europe for the last 2 years, and you see what LEC has done. I assume that he's one of those driving factors that worked on how LEC rebranded, all the different sponsorships that they have. Like watching the VODs, they had like Nestle Lion cereals. Like Nestle is a massive global brand company, right? They had the car companies as well, so they have made some changes here that NA just hasn't yet. So I think it's interesting that they are kind of driving some other voices there, because for the longest time it was Riot Magus, Waylon Roselle, yes. And then Jared Kennedy, Riot Brad something, whatever. It was just those two guys making decisions at the tip top. And Waylon was very big sports guy. Very, very, very big sports guy. And so a lot of that North American stuff in terms of sports and in terms of North American broadcast that you were talking about, Loco, came from an influence of that. Again, not by himself. It was a committee thing. But at the end of the day, it was his stamp on there. So,
sure. All right, let's get back to LEC and let's actually talk about Fnatic G2. I think we have so much things we want to talk about in terms of like the drama and the Trendemir stuff that we should get the Fnatic G2 thing over with and maybe cut the Rogue Schalke thing short.
What's up, sure. Tom?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, should we do Rogue Schalke first? Because
I think do Fnatic G2.
Like, yeah, let's. I'm sitting here. Yeah. I'm sitting here going like, what more is there to really talk about? Because like, I feel like this was a match that happened. We saw the reverse sweep. Some people played out of their minds. They adapted their bans, but I'm just sitting here going like, it's double elimination. Like they're maybe gonna play again, right? Like that's honestly what I think. Like I'm trying to sit here going like, yeah, G2 still look like the best fucking team in the league, even if they did drop 2 games. They actually like adapted. So I don't
think that G2 like full trolled the series or anything. Like I think that they just thought that things would work that just didn't work. Like clearly. So I believe that they thought that like the Yuumi Garen, right? They had their prep counter pick. They're like, okay, if we don't ban Yuumi, yeah, exactly. That was their counter pick. Which it kind of like you can see where the logic is for it, right? Even if you like gank it. Let's say you just throw your jungler bot, right? And the Mordekaiser just ults the fucking AD or ults the Garen, right? Yuumi pops up, and then you just have a jungler and a support.
Yeah.
Versus you have a jungler and a Pyke just versus a Yuumi that has no flash. Like that theoretically works. I don't even know if the draft is that bad, or like if that lane is that bad, because it was so skewed by the fact that Perkz teleported top level 5.
And that was so bad.
Yeah. If you okay, let's say you have like whatever you have your counter pick, whatever. Like they didn't even get to play the game because you're instead of like one team gets to use their teleport to lane, and he has a Yuumi, and then your Mordekaiser teleports top, wastes his flash, and dies and gets nothing out of it. Like on the other side of the map, like it's actually so bad that I can't even tell if that matchup like is unplayable or like how it actually works.
No,
go ahead.
I think that matchup 100% works because they have double ways to actually pull somebody in, and against Yuumi it's doubly effective. So like the Mordekaiser E, then the toss back with the spear toss from Pyke. So there's a lot of ways to pull a Yuumi in and on somebody and really fuck them over. And Yuumi doesn't do too well against Pyke in general because Yuumi can't fucking roam to other lanes at all. She like almost never buys boots. She's basically a parasite. She'll stay in lane. So Pyke gets to roam for free and never worry about a support following the roam like an Alistar or Braum or anything like that. So Pyke gets free reign. And when the Mordekaiser ulties, like you were saying, Dom, whoever he ulties and they have Yuumi on him, and fucking pops Yuumi off, and she's just like this poor little Yuumi about to get destroyed. So I think it actually works out really well. But I think that this got fucked over because the whole lane state, like you guys were talking about.
Even if the lane states were normal, one thing about Gnar is if you are put in like awkward position, like even if Perk doesn't TP up top and Gnar dies and you're versus stuff like TF Gangplank Nocturne, you're just gonna die over and over again. I think Fnatic did such a good job of actually targeting G2 where they're weak. They play really spread out. So run a lot of globals on them and be able to teleport faster than them, be able to move faster than them. And when you're playing that thin, it's very easy to get picked off. So I thought Fnatic's read on G2 for game 1 was just really good. And I really questioned the Nart pick into Gangplank, especially when you see all the picks already, TF, GP, Nocturne.
Well, I feel a lot of that was also exacerbated by Nemesis's ability to play TF, right? TF also allows with that roaming and getting picks, and once that got removed, it seemed a lot of the steam got taken out of the sales. The ease of it got taken out of the sales. Obviously, Game 3 was a close back and forth game. It wasn't like they were out of it, but again, that idea to catch them out of their thinness, G2 out of their thinness, seemed a little bit harder. Will they be able to adapt with a different pick if the bans still work through Loco? Because that's what I'm looking at here for Fnatic, assuming that they get through Schalke.
Well, going to game 2 in terms of like the thinness and like Fnatic doing like the playmaking, one thing that Fnatic's really good at is I think Fnatic's just way better when they have a set game plan, and then through the best of 5, G2 is just a way more fundamentally sound team, and they have way more things. So like for game 2, right, Fnatic running Rakan, Gragas, TF, and also like Renekton, like where they see opportunities and where they can playmake with Rakan, Gragas, or TF, like they just get it done. Whenever they have their game plan, whenever they have their set champions, I feel like they always just get it done, and G2's way more loose about things. And they also talked about how they're saving picks. So yeah, it's because of the best of 5.
I mean, people, but sure, they're saving picks. Like they talk about saving picks, but like you don't know if the picks are actually going to be good or not.
Right.
They think those picks are good, right? Like they think, like, let's say they didn't play the Mordekaiser Pike, right?
And then
they were like,
flushed out later.
and then they're like, yo, we're saving picks. And then finals happens in game 1. They pick Yumi, and it's like, oh shit, here's the pick that they saved, Mordekaiser. And then they just get dicked in the fucking game. It's like, who the fuck cares if you're saving picks? Like at the end of the day, like we don't even know if your picks are good. So like I take that stuff very lightly. I think that G2 are definitely the best team in Europe, but I think the Fnatic are closer than people give them credit for. Like people think that it was like, oh, G2 just like trolled a couple games and Fnatic won. G2's still like the clear number 1. No one's even close. Like no one can beat them. I think Fnatic can beat G2. I don't think that it's impossible for them to beat G2. If I were to bet on it, I'd say it's like pretty unlikely, but I'd say there's still a world where Fnatic can beat G2. Like
I think Fnatic can beat G2 in like a upset series. It's where Fnatic has a set game plan and they execute their game plan versus G2, and then G2 tries to keep fucking with your game plan and it's too late. Like this is a potential series where Fnatic could have won.
Yeah.
But I think the more G2 and Fnatic meet, it's just way more G2 favored. Like Fnatic has to have prep that they beat G2 with. Once their prep gets destroyed or once their prep gets banned out, like G2 just wins.
I don't think that that's what happened. I think that they honestly they started making they made a bunch of uncharacteristic mistakes in game 4, and I feel like Fnatic tilted game 5. I feel like Fnatic definitely could have won game 5. That was a fine thing, but they just were playing bad by that game. Like if you look at that game, like they're just misplaying all over the place mechanically, which they weren't doing in the earlier games. I think that from that they can like look at the games and be like, hey, like this is fine. We just like we made some mistakes game 4. Game 4 was like the one that was tilted. Game 4 was a Syndra game, right? Mm-hmm. That was the one where they tilted really hard, and I think in game 5 they just like it kind of destroyed their confidence. But I think game 3 was completely winnable. They could have easily won that. I think game 4 was like uncharacteristically bad in terms of that. And then game 5 I don't even like really consider because it's just like, oh, they played like some Kassadin comp, and it just looked like Dude, like it was like oh, that shit happened bot and like the game was over. I was literally talking to somebody on Discord. I was like, okay, this is over now.
Why is Kassadin picked in this situation? Your top lane is a Kali, your jungle is a Leaf, so you already have 2 AP. And then
who is the mid? Who is the mid for the enemy?
Silas.
Okay,
they should have played a Kali into Silas, right?
No.
Why not?
Well, no, because Silas beats a Kali theoretically. I mean, people have misplayed
theoretically.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a counter matchup. It's supposed to be Silas. It's supposed to be like Silas is just a better version of Kali once Silas takes a Kali ult. Obviously, people like always get solo killed in this matchup on the Kali side, on the Silas side, so it like kind of looks weird. Like it's hard to know if that's actually a counter. But like Kassadin is supposed to be good into Silas because it's a melee, so the Kassadin can farm, and then like the magic damage shield allows you.
You have a Kali elite stomp. I don't think Kassadin ever works in that situation where your jungle and your top lane is also AP.
It's not, of course you can't ever go like triple AP is pretty troll, but the reasoning for the pick was because they had Kassadin versus Silas, is because the other mid laner was something that Kassadin was good into, and like Nemesis is considered a decent Kassadin.
I thought game 5 was lost in draft. I
think that's tunneling too hard on matchup and not like the whole game, because you could just put a Kali mid and then you have Elise, and you pick your top laner into Kled, and you can go ahead and like when you have Elise, you should be able to even just get pressure mid if you want to go ahead and do that, right? So I think that they didn't use the jungle enough because their lanes weren't really suited to assisting her or even like having her play off of them. So it's like as soon as you pick Kassadin, it's just like where's our lane pressure? Like he can't even fight for priority ever. So Elise has to like play to top or bot and still like worry about having the mid laner roam. So it opens up the map in the central point. And I just thought that was not how Fnatic was winning their matches, as they were allowing for Nemesis to get out of lane.